Hello everybody, this is Micah History and I will be talking about the Battle of Vaslui. Now before I actually get to this video, I need to give out a shout out to my friend Stenky. Stenky has uploaded his own video about this battle, and in fact he was the one who helped me with the script and with other stuff in this video that you'll find out later. So I want to give a big shout out to him. Don't forget to go to his channel and subscribe to him and watch his videos. And so let's get to the battle. So it is the year 1470. Although still far from being recognized as the great power of its age, by the late 15th century, the Ottoman Sultanate had a firm foothold in both Asia Minor and in Europe, where they'd conquered most of the Balkan Peninsula, and had extended their influence in the Carpathian region through a network of alliances and vassalships. Ever ambitious Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror wished to begin preparations for an invasion of Hungary, but soon realized that before he moved his army to Central Europe, he must first pacify the troublesome Wallachian and Moldavian princes, known for their incursions into the country at the first sign of Ottoman weakness. Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror set his sights on Moldavia, and for good reason. Ruled by a very capable ruler, Prince Stephen III, in recent years Moldavia had become a thorn in the side of the Ottoman Sultanate. Stephen came to power with the aid of Wallachian prince Vlad the Impaler, more commonly known as Dracula. But Moldavia found itself surrounded by great powers, Hungary, Poland, and the Ottoman Sultanate, all of whom seek to control the region through Moldavia and secure trade routes that pass through fortified cities of Chilia and Ackerman. The growing strategic importance of Moldavia meant that its fate had never been more certain. During the first decade of his rule, Stephen declared that he wanted peace with the Ottoman Sultanate and continued paying tribute like rulers before him. Meanwhile, he defeated the Hungarians and stopped their advance into Moldavia, and even took part of Hungary in a counterattack. Furthermore, he strengthened diplomatic ties with Poland and fortified Moldavia's eastern border. Stephen's military capability became known throughout Europe, and he now began concentrating all his efforts to defending Moldavia from the Ottoman Sultanate. With Mehmed locked in a difficult war in Anatolia, Stephen moved against the Ottoman Sultanate. In 1470, he stopped paying tribute and invaded Wallachia. After 4 years of war, Stephen installed Basarab Laiotia Kelbatran as voivode of Wallachia. But Basarab's loyalty was short-lived, and he soon switched sides, reasoning that the powerful Ottoman Sultanate would better help him consolidate his rule. And still, even with Wallachia back on their side, in losing Moldavia, the Ottoman Sultanate lost an important vassal to the north. Mehmed obviously was not so happy when he heard that what happened, and he sent an ultimatum to Stephen. He must stop all hostilities against Wallachia, he had to come to Constantinople and pay for what he had done, and had to give the Ottoman Sultanate control of Aquileia. Stephen refused, and both sides began preparing for war. Mehmed ordered Hadim Suleiman Pasha to end the siege of Skadar and assemble his troops in Sofia, from where he had advanced into Moldavia. The long siege of Skadar, lasting from May to August and another month of marching to Sofia, took its toll on troops. Still, they reached Sofia by late September. The Ottoman army had around 60,000 troops. After assembling in Sofia, Suleiman moved north towards the Danube River, but weather started getting worse and troops had to move through harsh terrain. Suleiman crossed into Wallachia through Vidin. Suleiman had noticed the low morale and capability of his men due to harsh weather and the forced march, and he decided to let them rest. 2 weeks later, the Ottoman army marched again. As they advanced through Wallachia, Basarab Laiotia Kelbatran joined the Ottoman army with his 15,000 troops. Meanwhile, Stephen spent months asking the Pope and other European rulers for help, and got help from Venice, but other Christian countries offered little to no help, with around 4,000 men sent from Poland and Hungary. And Stephen personally recruited 5,000 Hungarian mercenaries. Stephen's army had around 30,000 troops and 20 cannons. Even though he was heavily outnumbered, the Prince of Moldavia was well prepared. Upon entering Moldavia, the Ottomans were met with a completely devastated country. Everything was burned, water was poisoned, and there was no people left. Stephen had evacuated the population and livestock and destroyed everything that may be of use to the Ottomans, hoping to wear them down and increase his chances of winning. Suleiman didn't want to disobey the Sultan's command and knew Stephen was outnumbered, so he decided to continue marching. But his army was constantly harassed by Moldavian detachments, which destroyed their supplies and slowed down their march. For nearly 30 days, Ottoman troops marched through Moldavia in freezing conditions and with almost no food or water, searching for Stephen's army. Finally, on January 10, 1475, Ottoman scouts brought news that they found several untouched villages further northwest. Suleiman ordered his troops to cross the river and deploy on the other side. They're expected either to find Stephen or to rest his exhausted troops. Heavy fog restricted visibility and rain kept pouring throughout the day, turning parts of the valley into marshland. As the Ottoman army deployed in battle formation, suddenly Moldavian war drums and trumpets were heard in the distance. Suleiman was now convinced that Stephen's entire army was further up the army, but he couldn't see them through the fog. He ordered his troops to advance towards the enemy and rush back over the river to get more troops to cross the bridge. In the middle of the valley, there were only a couple thousand of Hungarian and Polish troops and the Moldavian professional infantry. As the Ottomans advanced through the marshy area knee-deep in mud, Moldavian cavalry attacked with hit-and-run attacks. The Ottoman troops had to push forward and move out of the marsh despite being told not to advance until the whole army crossed. Soon all troops that had crossed started an unorganized attack and Moldavian troops started a tactical retreat. The Ottoman troops weren't aware that they were marching straight into a trap. Once the Ottoman troops got in range, Moldavian archers started shooting barrages of arrows. Some cannons that were on a nearby hill started shooting towards the bridge and had success in damaging it and temporarily stopping Ottoman and Wallachian troops from crossing. Ottoman troops outnumbered Moldavian troops and were close to breaking the line. When war drums started playing west of the Ottoman troops, they shifted west in order to protect the flank. The Ottomans thought it was a bigger part of the Moldavian troops, when in reality there were only a couple of hundred men hidden in the woods. Once the Ottoman line formed in the west, the main Ottoman army came from the east but was quickly noticed when crossing the river. Once again, the Ottoman cavalry shifted to protect the flank. Now the Ottomans were getting annihilated on the northern and eastern flank and were unable to find Moldavian troops on the western front. Seeing that this was happening, Basarab decided not to participate in the battle and he retreated. Seeing this, Ottomans thought that Basarab had betrayed them and afraid of the possibility of being encircled, they started retreating. Fighting continued for almost a week, as Stephen's cavalry repeatedly attacked Ottoman troops who completely scattered and weren't able to get into formation again. This was a huge defeat for the Ottomans, who knew better than to attack Moldavia again. Stephen continued ruling Moldavia for 5 more decades without any threat to his principality and is known as one of the strongest Moldavian rulers who ensured independence and prosperity for his country. Anyways, once again I want to say thanks to Stenky for writing the script and doing the animation. The reason I talked so fast was just because the animation went pretty fast, so I had to talk at the same speed. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to ask me a question on the question and answer video that I just made. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to watch Stenky's video, subscribe to his channel, and that's it. Goodbye.